There's some ants crawling around my camera. That's one of the problems of using a tree as your tripod. But anyway guys, I am here about to do my first ever Q&A video. I just thought this would be a cool chance to let you guys know a bit more about me, a bit more about my story, the new travel, where we're going, all that good stuff. So yeah, welcome to The New Travel's first ever Q&A. I got all the questions on my phone, so I'm gonna be like looking at this. Yeah, okay. Do you make a previous research about the country that you are visiting, or do you take to the road with mind and soul open to adventure? I love this question, and I think it's something that every traveler has to decide for themselves, how much you want to plan, how much you want to leave open to adventure. I definitely lean to the side of leaving things open to adventure, and I think the reason for that is it's not until you actually get there and you start speaking to the locals and experiencing life for yourself that you truly recognize what it is you want to do the most. Is getting around traffic in Mexico City as bad as many people say it is? Yes. Yes, it is. Question 3. Do you have any tips for a solo female traveler in Mexico? Oh, this is a question for Nari. Where is Nari? Oh, there she is. Yep. Oh.
Oui?
Well.
Hola.
Do you have any tips for a solo female traveler in Mexico City? Something unique to the city, not just travel safety basics. Oh, that's a tough one.
That's hard, yeah.
Do your best.
Well, yeah, before I came here, actually, I was very nervous being outside at late night, even in Zona Rosa, where it's very busy area. After 10, I felt like I need to go home. But actually, it's not that bad. It's not that unsafe here, I would say. So, yeah, I know it's boring, but as long as you keep the basic rules, like don't go to dangerous neighborhood or go home before midnight like Sindel, then yeah, you'll be safe. And, oh yeah, one thing I want to mention is, oh yeah, when you use some public transportation like metro or there is metro bus, really clean and nice, and they also have some women's section only for women and children. Yeah.
Not for me.
And like, yeah, if you don't want to be pushed by random dude in metro, yeah, I had the experience. It wasn't pleasant at all. Yeah, you can use that women's section. Oh yeah, by the way, I want to ask, yeah, when it's hot like this, I want to wear my shirts, but I noticed that no one, including guys, don't wear shirts at all.
I wear shorts.
Yeah, because you're foreigners.
I wear shorts.
Yeah, one time I was wearing my shorts and I noticed that everyone was staring at my legs, and of course it felt very uncomfortable. So yeah, I want to ask you, is it very uncommon to wear it or not?
Next question is from Juan. How do you make money? Job in Mexico? Or are you able to make a living from YouTube? This is a question more directed at me, I guess. But since Nari's here, like, do you want to tell them about your job?
Oh yeah, I'm a web developer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make some stuff.
I mean, we both love to travel, obviously. And the great thing about a job like being a web developer is that anywhere with a good internet connection, you can work from.
Yeah.
I know, like, when you watch videos, it might seem like we're always going on adventures. Honestly, we spend a lot of time in coffee shops just doing work.
At home.
and at home. Speaking of home, I think you have some work to do today, right?
Yeah. So
okay.
yeah, I gotta go.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Boom.
Good luck.
As for me, guys, YouTube is my thing right now. It's my full-time job. When I started my channel, I was in Vietnam. This was about two and a half years ago. I mean, at the time, guys, I just wanted to share these adventures that I was going on and share these interesting places with my mom, who was pretty much the only viewer back then. I kind of fell in love with making videos, so I never stopped. And it feels weird to be saying that. Like, even when I moved to Mexico a few months ago, my travel costs were like this, and my YouTube channel was making like this much. Now it's about even, so I'm in this strange position where I can support myself. And a big part of that reason is actually the Patreon community that I started, where I now have, I think, 36 people donating to me on a monthly basis. My channel's still very much growing, and I'm not rich. I'm not, you know, jumping on a plane to a new country every week. I'm still figuring this YouTube stuff out, and having Patreon donations means a lot to me. I'm grateful every day that I can say that. 2 short questions. What's your favorite Canadian tradition? What's your favorite Mexican tradition so far? Canadians don't really have that many traditions. Maybe it's because we're a newer country, but I don't know, we don't. I like watching hockey. Let me tell you about my favorite Mexican tradition. I like Day of the Dead, and I think it'd be really cool to be in Mexico for Day of the Dead. The idea of turning death into something positive and something to be celebrated is really special, and it's something that my culture doesn't have, and I really admire that about places like Mexico. In fact, I saw that on my recent trip to Oaxaca when we saw a funeral that was, you know, full of song and full of music. I thought it was a parade. I thought it was like a wedding or something, and then next thing I know, I saw this group of people, and there was a casket in the middle, and clearly it was a funeral that was going to the church. It was a celebration of the life that had passed, and I think that's a beautiful tradition that that Mexicans should be proud of. Anna C asks, "Are you planning on learning any Spanish?" Sí, Anna, claro que sí. Yo no sé más español, pero me gusta aprender más español. Es muy difícil, yo no sé por qué, yo no sé por qué es muy difícil para mí. Je peux parler français si tu veux, mais c'est un petit peu similaire à espagnol, et donc il y a les mots que je peux estimer comme I don't know, guys. So I speak French, and between French and English I can kind of like guess what some words are because there's a lot of similarities between the two, or I guess the 3 languages. The truth is I've just been lazy, and I'm trying to fix that. I've started reading Harry Potter in Spanish very slowly with Google Translate by my side, and every page, actually every sentence, I'll be looking up like one word. It takes me like 20 minutes to read through one page because of that. I also like watching YouTube videos, so if you guys have any favorite Spanish language channels that I should check out, please let me know. I'm always looking for more of those. Willie Lugo says, "I want to visit Mexico City on my own, but I don't know how to take care of myself or where I would need to stay. It's like every traveler already knows where to go and stay and how to get out. How? I need to learn how you do it." Man, that's a tough question, but you know what, Willie? The only way you can learn is just by doing, man. Like, I'm lucky in a sense because my family, we would take trips when I was young. I remember taking a road trip across Canada when I was like 8 or 9 years old. So traveling was always kind of built into my DNA, I guess. I always remember what it's like to travel, but not everyone does. I got a friend named Tim. He's a friend of mine from Winnipeg, the city I grew up in. And Tim had never left Canada. He'd never left Winnipeg, in fact. Like, that was just the only place he knew. And he started to see me traveling, and, you know, after I moved to South Korea to teach English, that was my first big trip. And I guess he saw my updates on Facebook and stuff, and he kind of got inspired. And after that, I kept traveling, and I was in Asia again. I was living in Vietnam. Yeah, Tim said he wanted to go to Thailand, and would I meet him in Thailand? And you know, we made that trip happen. And man, that was Tim's first time ever on an airplane, flying all the way to Thailand. You know, for someone who grew up flying on airplanes, it might not seem like a big deal, but I gotta give Tim a lot of respect. That takes courage to get out of your comfort zone in a big way like that and go all the way to another continent where you don't speak the language, where you don't do any of this stuff. And you know, I often get questions asking like, how do you go to another country if you don't speak the language? Well, I'll tell you what's more important than speaking the language or knowing how, like, where you're gonna stay and all that stuff. It's all about keeping the right perspective and not panicking, knowing how to overcome these difficult situations. And you know what, Willie, man, like, you send me a message on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and I'll try to, if you really want to go to Mexico City, I'll try to help you with that trip. I mean, I can't book the hotel for you, but like, if you have specific questions, I would love to help you make that trip, because I remember being there, and everyone has been there taking their first big trip that throws them out of their comfort zone. And let me just say one more thing. I recently added a link to the description of my videos where I can give people $40 off their first time using Airbnb. This isn't like an ad for Airbnb, but what this is basically is, it's a link I have where if you've never used Airbnb, you can save money, and I get some money for my own bookings for sending you there. Like, I get like 20 bucks or something like that. So it's kind of a win-win because we both save money. So that is a pretty affordable way to travel to a new city. And oftentimes, if you go on Airbnb and you find someone who's called a super host, and now this really sounds like an ad, but it's not. If you find us a super host, that's someone who has a really good rating, and they will usually like give you a list of things to do and see around the city and give you advice on how to take the transport and stuff. So, I mean, if you get a really good host, it's like having a mom in another city. Like, they will really look out for you. So maybe that's a good option for you, Willie. Let me know if you take that trip to Mexico City. I really hope you do. Diego asks, how old are you, and are you planning to have Mexican children? I'm 27. Here's some Twitter questions. So Rob is another YouTuber I know. He's from Germany, and his channel is I mean, he took a long break from his channel, so like, he hasn't seen the growth that I think he deserves. But yeah, Rob makes some really cool videos, so if you're looking for another travel channel to check out Rob's Quest. And Rob asks, what's the most Canadian thing you can't live without on your trips? I actually asked Nari what she thinks I always bring, because I was like, I don't know, what's really Canadian that I always bring with me, and she said peanut butter. And I know you guys have peanut butter in Mexico, but it's true that I did bring a big 2-kilo jar of peanut butter on this trip. So maybe that's something that I can't live without. Oh. Okay guys, this video's at like 10 minutes already, which means it's time for me to sit down. It also means we've had some good questions. I think I'm gonna answer about 2 more. Are you planning to go somewhere else in Mexico? Like Guanajuato, Puebla, Chiapas, Veracruz? You know what, Valeria? I've had a lot of questions about my future plans to travel in Mexico. And I'm gonna give a big hint to you and to everyone who's watched this video for this far. I'm gonna be going to one of those 4 places very soon. I'm not gonna tell you which, but one of those places I'm going to, yeah, and I'm super excited. Okay, this is a good one. This is a question from the Patreon community. This is from Doris. Doris, thank you for your support. And to everyone in the Patreon community, it really does mean a lot to me. Doris asks, what are your long-term plans? Boy, that is a tough question. That's a tough question to answer, Doris, because I don't plan that far in advance, especially with my travel plans. You know, when it comes to my plans through Mexico, I've had a lot of people ask me to visit different towns in different states, and I would love to be bouncing all around the country, and honestly, I would love to visit every state in Mexico. It's just difficult financially. It's a lot cheaper to be staying in an apartment in Mexico City and living my life and making my videos than always be paying for buses and, you know, new accommodations and plane tickets and stuff like that. So what I would love to be in my long-term plans is to get some kind of relationship with Mexico Tourism or some other big tourism board that can help to sponsor and to pay for these adventures. But that's a bit outside of my control. I can try, I can just keep making good content and hope that that happens, but you know, it takes more than just me. But I will answer your question a slightly different way. The New Travel has evolved so much just in the last few months, and I really have Mexico and the success of my channel in Mexico to thank for that. Before I came to Mexico, I didn't really know what The New Travel was. I had a little idea. I mean, I knew I wanted to tell real travel stories, but what does that actually mean? Well, I've been giving a lot of thought to this question, and I've realized that I want The New Travel to be about breaking stereotypes and showing people the truth about life in foreign countries. Mexico's been a big step on this mission because, as I've said many times before, Mexico's a misunderstood country. There's a lot of untrue things that are said about Mexico in the media. I've traveled through 4 different states, and I'm about to travel to a 5th one. And I can tell you that so much of what you hear in the foreign media is just wrong. In the past, I've traveled through countries like Morocco, which is a Muslim country, and it's near the Middle East, so people assume that there must be terrorists and they must hate Americans and Westerners and stuff. Guys, it's not true. Morocco has some issues as well, but the average Moroccan will welcome you with great hospitality, and I just have fantastic memories of that country as well. And the more I travel, the more I realize that everywhere you go is beautiful. Everywhere you go can change you and change your view of humanity. I mean, I know that's a big thing to say, but travel has truly changed my life. And I want to continue to inspire people to travel, and also I want to work on building a community where we can inspire each other, because there's only so many stories I can tell. But I know that you guys have stories to tell too. I see them in the YouTube comments. I see fantastic comments. And I want to continue to think of ways that I can make those stories bigger and better and just reach more people. And the idea I've been thinking about for a long time is starting a Facebook group. And I think this is the best time to announce that. And because you guys who have been watching this video for like, what, almost 20 minutes now, you guys are the true new travelers. You are the true fans. And I would love you guys to help me start this group. So I'm gonna put a link in a comment that can send you guys to the New Travelers, the new Facebook group that I'm starting. Yeah, and I hope we can turn it into a place where together we share stories about the places that we're from. We share travel stories, we offer advice and help to each other. That's the idea. We'll see what it turns into. I hope you guys will join me on this next step. I gotta be honest, there are times when I feel kind of overwhelmed doing this channel, and I feel like I have all these ideas of how to make the New Travel into a bigger community and just to do more with this channel. But I'm only one guy, and I feel like together we can do a lot more. That is my long-term plan for myself, for this channel, for what I want to do in my life, you know, because I'm in a very fortunate position to be in a place where I'm now being like funded by my channel, by all the views that you guys give me, by Patreon, the occasional brand deal and stuff like that, but I don't do too much of that. But I'm in a position now where I can live off making these videos, and I consider that to be an honor, but also a responsibility. Like, I'm responsible in making this channel make a difference. So I think together we can do that. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This is my first ever Q&A. I feel like I rambled and talked a lot, but let me know, do you guys enjoy this kind of video? Big shout out to everyone who left a comment. I know that there are a lot of them that I didn't get to, but I don't want this to be a 2-hour video. So maybe next time I can get to more comments. But for now, guys, as always, I'm Dan from The New Travel. Hope you have an awesome day, and yeah, see you next time.